Hey guys, good afternoon everyone. It's Saturday, June 27th, 2020, and welcome to the Saturday episode of our daily stock market insights. I've already noted all your requests and I will be discussing them one by one today. And I hope you also continue the same rigor that we have here, even if it's a weekend. Don't stop studying. That's how we build our skill in trading. Okay, and to begin, the first stock we are going to cover tonight is tech. So for tech, there was a breakdown in the price that happened today, and I feel that there's a big chance that it will first challenge this level, 752 or 743 area, and then it might drop to this level. The reason why I said that those are the two possible areas for our support level is because we saw this one as well, and this. So it's again an area, so it could be slightly higher or lower. And then if it drops some more, the next possible support level that it'll test would be your 7.11 area. Okay, now if you're in it as a long-term investor, let's see how far are we from the long-term profit-taking area. So as you can see here, you're still at a very cheap level if you come to think of it. Okay, so just again, remind yourself why you are getting in at this particular stock. If you're in it as a mid to long-term investor, you shouldn't be worried about this decline. It's just stabilizing and retesting the previous support. And also in terms of volume, I see that we are now again gaining more volume, and I feel that people are just, they took profit because it has already climbed up, and then it's retesting the support areas before it continues to fly again. Okay, so 7.43 and 7.11 would be the next support levels that we have. ALLHC. ALLHC for now, I see a doji in today's or in yesterday's candlestick, and I actually am seeing a support area right at the level where it is at right now. I see this part, this one as well. Price bounces each time it reaches this level. Let me see the weekly chart here. Okay. Maybe what we can do for this on a weekly chart, because it's also good to look at it that way, because it gives you a much clearer picture of its direction. So I feel that you have to be very observant in terms of the movement here, because while it's true that we're sitting at a support area, sometimes it breaks a support. And so if this breaks the trend line here, that means we might have to check out, some more possible declines if that happens. And if it does, possible area that it might revisit would be your 150 area, because that used to be a support here. So again, so this level here is still respecting the trend line in a weekly chart, but you have to be extra careful when you see price breaking that blue line over there. If it does, it will most likely drop to 150. Okay, again, every candlestick in this picture represents 1 week worth of performance. Okay, let's go to SMC. SMC, I think, is starting to trigger a possible bounce here. We're currently sitting at a support level, and this kind of candlestick at the support area is actually a bullish candlestick, and most likely we will be stabilizing and creating a support at the 99.34, and next possible movements would be to go up. Yeah, okay, so you can haggle for a 99.34, or you can enter right away, because overall, look at this, we are already at the the consolidation phase of SMC, if you come to think of it. Okay, and look at how much it dropped from the time we uh, started the quarantine. Actually, before the quarantine period, the entire time back in 2019, the sentiment has been on a decline, and I will not be surprised because after a long time here, it was on a steady climb since 2016, and you just have reached the overbought levels even before that. Okay, and from 2018 on a weekly chart to 2019, that entire year could have already been a signal for you, because if you are to plot here from this point here up to this point, and you look at your RSI, you already have a declining momentum that was happening right there. I think this was the one. See that? Price is moving up, but your RSI is declining. That means people are starting to become hesitant in entering, or people are already starting to take profit. As a result, the momentum is starting to decline. That was the entire 2018 to 2019. And plus, we entered 2020 with this pandemic, of course, a dramatic decline in price happen. But for those people who are just about to enter or just entered the world of stock market, this is a great opportunity. You haven't really lost uh, the time that you've lost because you just entered now. The market has given you an opportunity to enter at a very cheap level. Because sometimes people would say, "Oh, it's already too late for me. I'm already uh, 40, I'm already early late 30s to start the stock market." And it's really very rare to have an opportunity like this. It's not that I like what's happening right now, because no, definitely not, because there's a pandemic, and the economy was shaken a little bit, not a little bit, it was shaken big time. So there's a negative impact. But for those people who are entering the stock market, this guys, you have entered at the very at a on a sale price, if I may use that term. Everything's at a discount right now. Okay, so let me go back to the daily chart. So currently it's just doing sideways overall here, and so right now I feel that it's just gaining some momentum, and we are already in the 48, close to the 50 level. So it's really on a neutral zone, healthy level in our RSI. So it's a good time. So I'm addressing this to the mid to long term investors. Right now is a perfect time to start accumulating volume. Whenever it's your payday or you have extra money that you don't need anytime soon, that you are willing to forget for a while. When I say forget for a while, that means 5 to 10 years that you don't really need at the moment. Put it there. It's like putting it in a bank. Okay, so we're sitting at the possible support right now. EEI. EEI for me is also trying to stabilize. Okay, so as you can see here, our support is still being respected. Yes, this was the support I've been plotting ever since, and for how many days now, it is still respecting that. And I think any moment from now, we're bound to uh, bounce here. Look at this. Your Bollinger Band is starting to point upwards. It's a slight overshoot downwards here, but so far, because of these candlesticks landing at the same area for how many days, I just feel that it's just strengthening the support at the 5 peso level. LTG. LTG. Okay. This is the support that we see. Actually, it is also at the support level for this stock. In worst is it might drop up to this range 7.83, but for 2 days straight, landing at the 808, it might also be respecting this level. You had your resistance here, as you can see. This line over here could also be treated as a support area. There was a day when it landed here. It also became as a resistance during this period, and for 2 days straight as well here, creating a support. So I think something's gonna happen around 8.08, but if there's a slight overshoot, the next possible line as a support area would be um, 7.83. Oh, it's 8.01 and 7.83. Very near. Anyway, it's an area, so I think it will just stabilize there and then bounce again. Overall, look at that. Very cheap level from where it is at. So if you want to get in as a long-term investor, these difference or the difference in the price that I mentioned right now, it's irrelevant because it's a very minimal variance between the price if you're gonna get in as an investor. Okay, so for traders, I suggest don't take any action yet unless you see a green candlestick, an engulfing green candlestick coming out. Like this one, this is a perfect example that we have here. So it was stabilizing at this range, and then all of a sudden there's a green engulfing candlestick that came out, and after that, a bullish movements happened. So what we want to see as well here is probably a green engulfing candlestick, something to this effect. So wait for it to come out first. Otherwise, just continue dropping this comment, requesting this stock, so we can always include it in our daily reviews. Okay, HLCM. Oh, HLCM also trying to stabilize. Look at this. This area we have here right now is currently creating a support at that level. Okay, it just stopped right here, moved, retested your support, and most likely will now have a bounce there. Okay, it just validated the support that we have at the moment at the 6.36. So I still would like to put that as a possible support. At the same time, when it did a double bottom, it's slightly higher now. So maybe if you want, you can do just test buys. Don't put, if you have 50,000 peso worth of buying power, you don't have to put everything all at once. You can do test buy, maybe 10,000 first or 15,000 first, and then once you see price confirming the bounce, then you start adding some more volume. VLL. As for VLL, not looking good here. We had a breakdown in price. There was an MA20 here, which was your supposedly support level, and there was a breakdown. So I'm thinking it might continue to drop. And let's see first. It might retest this level again. Okay, just be extra careful. 3.37, 3.38 is the next possible drop that I see. Okay, so if you're interested in this stock, hold on to your buying power. I know you can get this at a cheaper price. Meg. Meg also, but there's a resistance formed here. So that could also be that could also create a support area in that level. Let's check this out first. What about your weekly chart? That is also where your MA20 is. So maybe it will just stabilize there. Let's try to create a Fibonacci retracement. Okay, from here up to here. Yeah, which is just very near. Okay, which is very near the line where we plotted it. 307 to 3 peso level. So I think something's gonna happen in this area. Otherwise, if it breaks down, next possible drop would be here. But um, I don't like it because on a weekly chart that's already below your MA20 line. So if that happens, I suggest consider other stocks. But for now, if this area that we have plotted, which is the three, let me remove the 3 peso level, if that sustains, then good. Otherwise, if it breaks down, I don't really recommend because we might have some more dips or drops in the coming days if that happens. It might test this level first, 275. Yeah, it might drop some more. And I don't like the next stop. It's far from where it is at right now. Okay, so just check this area first. DMC. DMC also had a breakdown in price. What's happening to the property sector? Most of these stocks are real estate and property. There's also a decline in the price, and the next support that we see here right now is this level. Because so when you screen to the left, the nearest area where you have some consolidation is here. So that could be the next area that it will test for a possible support. Okay, so I'm not plotting any. Okay, so next possible drop, of course, it might do another bottom right here if the 3.98 drops. For now, I suggest just observe first, don't get in. 3.90 level is our support, nearest support. SSP, SSP as well. So I will not be surprised that it is dropping right now because for from March to June it has been on a climb. So people are taking profit, and I don't like the fact that we broke lower than MA20 line, so we might drop some more and revisit first area is 1.21 because we saw this consolidation also used to be a resistance right here, and next possible drop would be um, in case it would be around this range. Yes, 1.11, 1.10. There you have it. Okay, so for now, between price moving higher or price dropping, my outlook is more on the price dropping right now because it just makes sense. People are taking profit. And see this, it's already a third attempt when you had it here. And look at that, from this point up to here, so price was of the same range right here, this versus this, but your RSI had significantly dropped here from this point up to this point. So that's a bearish sentiment. Price has been declining or momentum has been declining. So that could have already been your sign. Fruit. As for fruit, I like what I'm seeing right now. Third day of green candlestick, and we officially managed to cross the MA20 line, so that's a good sign. Let's use the MA20 level as your support right now, 1.31. So I feel that it will just continue moving higher. I like the volume that we have right here. It's already increasing in volume, and you're also in the 53 mark, so good. There's still more wiggle room to move higher. Next possible resistance area would be around 1.45, 1.47, around that range because we saw this. Okay, so what if you enter, let's say 1.31 and you take profit at 1.47? That's a 12% increase. So right now, people who are trading, they're a bit conservative. So let's say you enter at 1.31, market gives us a chance at 1.31 and it moves higher. when the very first sign of weakness you see at the resistance area, let's say the first red candlestick that you see right there, take profit. Because right now people are more of a conservative player, and they want to secure the profit, because most of the resistances are not really holding. I mean, each time the price hits a resistance, it breaks down. So maybe you can do that approach. RLC, which is very related to our video yesterday, uh, it's around 17.60. Now, I see a possible movement going up here. This used to be your resistance. It dropped up to this level, and now there was a green confirmation there, bullish candlestick. So I feel that it will continue to move higher. First area to challenge would be this 18.28, and then next stop would be around this level. So try to observe the movement of the market, but in case, some people will wait at the 16.92. Some will just carry on right away, 1760. But overall, I see this stock moving forward or higher in the coming days. What about MAC? MAC is stabilizing. Okay, you're still in the support area. Hopefully it doesn't break down in price, but you're sitting at a support right now. 610 is the area we're looking at. In terms of risk to reward ratio, your risk is up to 3.48 against the possible reward that you have here. Just be sure to always monitor. That's why it's highly recommended to not have a lot of stocks in your portfolio, so that you can easily monitor and read the news about these stocks, compared to having 10, 11. It's really hard to um, monitor those. Okay, so part of your assignment every day is try to look at PSE Edge, try to look at the news. It's very convenient using this Investograms. They're not sponsoring me, but I really like the interface of their platform. I've been a long-term user or long-time user of this website. News is already associated to every stock. So if your Mac is open, if you click the news, it's all about Mac. So it's really very convenient. Okay, so that addresses the fundamental analysis. Also, doing the charting is for your technical analysis. Now, going back to this discussion, we're still moving sideways around the support area, very near the support area. So if there's no really negative sentiment, negative news for this stock, I feel that any moment from now we will just gonna bounce. PXP. For PXP, we're very near. I'm thinking this is a resistance area now, guys. This is the area 716. If I zoom out a bit, there's this, it used to be a support right here. This one too is also considered, but there was a slight overshoot downwards here, but that's the area. So for 3 days straight, this stock is having a difficult time breaking this level. So this is already for me a sign of weakness. You're also at the overbought level. So if you want, you can lock in some profit. If let's say it does not start much higher than 7.9, 7.10, then that means there is a possibility that it will rest for a while and drop probably around 599 level, if it does. Okay, so observe, because it's already the third day. Volume has also dropped by 50%. So I'm thinking it might rest. Yeah. Next would be SHLPH. SHLPH might be bouncing soon, guys. This used to be your support. because I see this. See that consolidation that you have here? And then for several days now, this level is being respected. So I feel that that's going to be a support, and you have a green candlestick to confirm that bounce. So I think that we are going to have some more bullish movements here. 18.40, between 18.03 to 18.40 is already a good entry price. This is the confirmation that I've been mentioning, right? Sometimes it does consolidation there, and then what I would say is wait for a green candlestick to come out, and this is it. This is the confirmation. So your call. You enter at 1840, or you wait till within the day. Probably fluctuations will happen, and you can haggle for a few cents cheaper than 1840. Next is Double Dragon. Double Dragon is also trying to stabilize. This is the support that I see. Actually, the area where it is at could also mean a support already because of this. This used to be your resistance here, and it stabilized in this level, but wait for that candlestick to come out, probably starting around 7.3 or 17. No, not 7, 17.12 or 17.03 starts at that area, and then most of the sentiment is moving higher than that. Then that's a confirmation of a bounce. Okay, so let's just watch and observe this performance by Monday. And the last stock that we are going to review in this episode is MWIDE. MWIDE, we have a doji right at the MA20 line. So I think this is bound to also bounce. So 6.90 level is still the support area that we see. And I feel that it will either move still within the range or continue to move higher by Monday's performance. Used to be a resistance here. And MA20, MA20 is such a powerful indicator. Normally it bounces in that area when you are higher than that. But when you're lower than that, sometimes it could also mean a resistance. Okay, there you have it. Wow, still at a cheap level, consolidating in that level right now. See that? Okay. So if your stock is not yet included, go ahead and just drop a comment, guys, because maybe tomorrow I can have another episode for all the stocks that I may have not covered. So I suggest I'll be putting the link from my insights yesterday because that is still valid. It's a Friday daily stock market insight. So whatever I have covered there will still apply. Today's discussion as well, and for tomorrow, all the things or all the stocks that I will be covering are the ones not covered in the Friday and the Saturday episodes. That way we are all prepared come Monday, and I hope you guys have profitable trades. In the meantime, if you have not subscribed yet to our channel, if this is your first time, know that we're doing this every single day. So please hit the subscribe and click the notification bell so you're always updated. Also, if what I'm saying here makes sense, don't forget to like. In the meantime, thank you and bye-bye for now.